Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth, soul therapist, and this is my weekly reading where we cover everything that you need to know about the weekly energy and how you can make the most of it. Now, some of you guys might be surprised if you're watching this on Facebook. I am live, or you're watching the replay, and I was talking last week and on my Facebook about how I wasn't able to do this on Facebook anymore. So I'm really excited to be back and to be here. I just had the intuitive sense to go back and check, and now I do again have the ability to download the videos from Facebook. I just like to do it here on Facebook. It just feels better to me to do it live here on Facebook. I have a really beautiful community here on Facebook, so it feels really good, and I'm happy to be back. So we're gonna see, hopefully this works. I'm setting the intention that it works. If you guys are watching the replay on my YouTube channel and you do want to catch these videos live, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I will put that below in the description for the video, but it feels good. It feels nice to be back. So I'm excited about that. If you are watching on my YouTube and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that button as well so that you can get all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. So we're going to dive into the energy. This is, I feel like, a really exciting energy that we're moving into. Now, as we move into this energy, I think that people are finding that they are getting caught up in some stuff. I've had a really busy day. I've had back-to-back sessions, but I can kind of see that my phone has been blowing up all day with messages and with things happening. And it's very much tied to what we have going on with this energy. So let me kind of back up a little bit, because I think that it's helpful to understand where we're coming from if you haven't been watching my videos for a little while. We had been around that winter solstice working on this preparation to move into a new chapter. And so we were going through and we were clearing and we were releasing and we were working on the intentions for where we were moving. And then we moved into that energy, and pretty quickly after that moved into Mercury retrograde. We're still in Mars retrograde. So long story short, the energy was incredibly stuck into the mud. So it was like we moved into this new chapter, into this new energy where we were wanting to get started on a new chapter in our lives, but that energy was like, here we go, we're going to move, but now we're going to sit here and we're going to reflect, and you're not going to see a lot of movement. You're not going to see a lot of things shifting or changing. And so that was where we were. Now, we have made a lot of changes, and I think that we are starting to feel this energy lighten up. It's getting lighter and lighter now that we've moved out of the retrogrades. But I think now what's becoming apparent to us is the stuff that moved with us, our stuff that we moved with us, that we now recognize like, oh yeah, that's still there. That's still something that I need to deal with. Or maybe I thought that that belonged in this new chapter of my life, but it really doesn't, right? And specifically, what it feels like to me is the stuff that is our own bullshit that has moved with us, and now it's time that we take a look at that. When I connected with what I needed to call this video today, immediately I heard breaking up with your bullshit, right? This is exactly what it is that we're working on. So the stuff that is coming up for you right now that is challenging is probably in some way, shape, or form connected to your own bullshit. Now, in order to do your spiritual work, you have to be willing to call yourself out. You have to be willing to really take a look at yourself and where there needs to be change, where there needs to be growth, where there needs to be development. And I think that that is very much being highlighted in this energy. Now, is that happening for us because God, the universe, wants to be mean to us? Absolutely not. It's just that there's this stuff that has to go because we're in a new energy now, and not all of this stuff belongs here, right? So we may find that there are some things that have stuck around, whether they are habits, patterns, our fear, our anxiety, the way that we think, the way that we perceive things, the way that we talk to ourselves, the way that we sabotage or self-sabotage things in our lives, the way that we prevent ourselves from having good and positive things in our life. I feel like for a lot of people, that's their bullshit. Like, why are we blocking ourselves from having amazing things? Why instead do we continue to stay in our comfort zone? Because this energy is calling us to move out of our comfort zone. This energy is calling us to behave as though we are in a new chapter, because we are. And so all of that old stuff doesn't apply. And I'm not saying that some of that, some of us and some of how we do things didn't get to come with us, but what needs to change? What needs to be different? Where are we holding ourselves back from truly making the most of what we now have is a very forward-moving energy? Things are starting to happen. Things are starting to manifest. Things are starting to move, and we're starting to see it. But the problem is that stirs up old stuff, right? Things start to happen and we sabotage it, or we doubt it, or we question it, like, oh, okay, this is finally manifesting, so maybe it's too good to be true. It's kind of that's in part what this energy is. And it's not God, it's not the universe that's holding us back, it's us. And we've got to take a look at that so that we can make the changes that our soul is showing us that we need to make, so that we can make the most of this new chapter, right? I found myself this week trying to justify something, trying to make excuses for something that I know does not have a place in my life at this point. But I tried to do that, and then I caught myself doing that and recognized, like, nope, this situation, exactly the same as it always was. And that is not going to be any different. So stop making excuses to allow something that you know doesn't belong, that you know doesn't meet the standards that you have now raised in your life. And so where are we allowing things that do not meet the standards that we now have set for ourselves? We have raised the bar, or hopefully we have, or hopefully we're in the process of doing that. And we expect more now, and that's good. That's a good thing, right? And the expectation is not to lower the bar for the circumstances or people in our lives, but to expect that people, circumstances, energy raises to meet our bar. So I hope that makes sense. It's so important that we're doing that, and that we're aware of where our bullshit is preventing us from moving into this great energy, because this energy is great. You wouldn't know it from the messages that I'm getting on my phone, but this energy is great because it is showing us what we need to do to be great, to be the best version of ourselves. We didn't come here to just be some regular version of ourselves. We came here to be the best version of ourselves. Challenge accepted. And so where do you need to break up with your bullshit this week? Okay. What's been working for you and what's been working against you? That'll be really helpful in showing you, right? What is preventing your success? What is preventing your happiness? What is preventing your joy? What is preventing your freedom? What is preventing your authenticity? Because this year is about freedom and authenticity. So understand that. The other thing when I was connecting with this energy that I heard was, you don't have to hold on to it anymore. And I understand that seems like a really simple concept, but I was thinking about the way that we have this tendency to go back and reflect and to think about how things have been painful to us, how things have been hurtful to us, and we just play it again and again and again in our minds. I do this. I know a lot of the people that I work with do this, and at a certain point, yes, like we're trying to heal that, we're trying to understand it, but at a certain point, do we need to continue to hold on to it? Do we need to continue to go back and reflect on it and revisit it and hold it, right? I think there's a difference between trying to understand something and continuing to hold on to the energy of it. And so are there things this week that you can take a look at and go, oh, that's coming up for me. That issue is coming up for me again. I choose not to hold this. I choose to let this go. I choose to release this. I choose not to carry this anymore. Because again, that is clearing, creating that clearing that's allowing for these beautiful gifts that are wanting to come in right now here in this energy to come in. I very much feel like here right now in this week that obstacles are being removed, but guess who's removing them? Yes, we get help from God or the universe, whatever you want to call that, right? but we're the ones removing the obstacles. We're the ones clearing the way, because we are deciding that we're done with whatever your bullshit is. It's going to look really, really different for everyone. And instead, we're leaning into this energy of innovating our lives, of leaning into new energy, of leaning into things being different. Even if we don't like change, it's time to lean into that. We're in Aquarius season. That is very innovative energy. Leaning into that innovative energy and exploring new options, shaking it up. This week, I would recommend shaking it up. You know, even in little ways, like driving a different way to work, or doing your morning routine in a different order of some kind, or making some kind of a change to your routine in some way, or choosing to respond to a situation in a different way. If you change it, you will get different results. And I think that it's fun sometimes to just play around with that. If I respond in this way, what does that get me? Or if I do this, how does that change the experience that I have? So can we change it up? Can we shake it up? And as I was connecting with this energy, the other thing that I heard was an affirmation that will be really helpful for us to use this week, but also just in moving forward. And that is, I am now living in my highest timeline. That's what we're trying to do, is to be living in our highest timeline. I am now living in my highest timeline. Because we're done. We're done with the bullshit. We're done with the low vibrational energy. We are done with holding ourselves back, and we are leaning into this new chapter. This energy is moving us forward. This energy is showing us where we need to take action. So definitely pay attention to those inspired actions that you're feeling called to take. I do want to highlight, inspired action feels really differently than action coming from an energy of fear, right? Action coming from an energy of fear is trying to control it, is feeling scared, is doing it because you're anxious and you don't know what to do. Inspired action is, I'm sitting here in a peaceful state and this idea comes to mind. This energy is all about ideas right now. This idea comes to mind and I feel called to follow through with that. That is absolutely going to support us in making the most of this weekly energy, this monthly energy. So can we flow with that? And can we really step up in terms of clearing away these obstacles that we have created for ourselves? Let's take a look at the cards that we have here. So the first card is the Knight of Wands, and that's it. This is like charging forward, making the most of this energy. What am I excited about? What ideas do I have that I'm excited about? What direction do I want to head in? And can I start to take steps in that direction? Even if I'm not ready to like go all the way in with this yet, how do I start to move? How do I start to progress? How do I start to move forward, right? And heading in that direction, I think that once we start, it will create a momentum and we will feel like we're moving forward more quickly. Go for it. This is go for it energy. 5 of Cups in reverse. This to me is, we're done with the bullshit, right? We're done with living in the past. We're done with reflecting on the past. Maybe we need to reflect sometimes to learn on it, but we don't want to stay in that energy. We are done with holding ourselves back. Like I said, you don't have to hold on to it anymore. We can choose to let it go. And I think that in this energy, there are opportunities to choose to let it go, to choose to move forward with your life, even if I don't understand it, even if I'll never understand why things happen the way that they did, I choose to move forward with my life. Because when we move forward, look at what we get, these 2 cups back here. We head in the direction of connections that are really beautiful for us. We head in the direction of circumstances that are exactly what we want to call into our experience. And so that starts with choosing it, choosing to let it go. The next cup or the next card is the Page of Cups. And we had this energy last week, maybe even feeling like there are things that we need to express, things that we need to say that come from the heart, or things that we need to do that just make our heart happy. I also feel like with this, it's like, let me just, I don't know why, but let me follow my heart here. Let me just lean into this a little bit. Let me just open up to this a little bit and see what happens. I might be scared, right? But let me just see what happens. Let me just lean into this just a little bit. I was saying to somebody earlier, let me just crack the door on hope, or on the possibility that this can be great, just a little bit, and see where this takes me. The Hermit card. To me, this feels like us coming out of that energy, out of that hermit, self-reflective, self-discovery energy. Yes, we are discovering ourselves in terms of where we need to make a change this week, but I also think that this is acknowledging us connecting to our light, connecting to the best version of ourselves, uncovering what that now looks like and what we want that to be and the direction that we want to head in, and letting that be our guiding light for us as we continue to move forward. Let your heart be your guiding light. Let your intuition be your guiding light. You don't have to see everything. You don't have to see the entire path yet. Just flow with it. Just let it unfold, and trust that this is bringing you to in the direction of exactly where you're supposed to be. We have two queens right next to each other. Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, very different energy. So I'm going to choose, can we choose to be open our hearts, be nurturing, be kind, be compassionate, be loving, be open and vulnerable, but at the same time trust ourselves, Queen of Swords, to release anything that we know doesn't really serve us, anything that we are justifying to keep in our lives. If you have to make excuses to keep something in your life, it does not belong in your life. You are talking yourself into it. If you have to talk yourself into anything, it ain't it, right? So whatever it is that we need to clear, whatever it is that we need to release, trusting ourselves enough to know it, and trusting ourselves enough to do it, but to also be able to step into our hearts and to operate from a very heart-centered space, and to be a force of love here in this world, and to lean into this new chapter with our hearts open, and I feel like with excitement, right? This Knight of Wands is about excitement too. Following the path of our excitement, following the path of what lights us up, what we're passionate about, and letting that lead the way, and seeing where it takes us, because it's just the beginning of a new chapter, right? We don't know where that's going, but letting it unfold and trusting that we are co-authoring this chapter with God, with the universe, whatever that is for you. So those are your messages for this week. I think it's going to be a really powerful week, really powerful messages that are coming through. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are watching this on my YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I always love to hear from you guys below in comments. Like this video, share this video. Any kind of energetic exchange is a really great way for me to be able to tap into your energy and to say thank you for me doing these videos. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care.